What is going on, guys? Good morning. How are you all doing? Bear with me as I get everything posted. I'm posting everything everywhere, and then we are going to jump right into this. Welcome in, everybody. How'd you guys all do yesterday? How'd you guys do? Rick the ruler. Express, how'd you do? Gloomy in Virginia? Yeah, it is the same here in New York. It is the same. Everything's the same. Welcome in. Good morning, guys. Green, green, green. What a good day it was yesterday. What a good start to the month. What a good start to the month. Good price action. We'll talk about it. Lots of greens this morning. Good. What'd you guys trade? A little Amazonian, a little Amazon. I see it. I see people taking a little Amazon. Maybe a little bit of the Appler. A little bit of the Appler yesterday. Apple was nutty. Okay, Apple was absolutely great, absolutely incredible, and we have some setups today that look quite good, and it almost looks too good today. I am sitting here and I'm a little bit my alarm bells are ringing this morning because it almost looks too nice. But let's not get too spiced up. We have some levels to talk about, some things that look incredible, like Nvidia 183, like Apple. That you know what I'm going to say in Apple, right? You know what I'm going to say here. But Apple looks incredible, so we'll watch Apple today. We're also going to go over the Amazon. Someone said Amazon breaking 232. UV Connects, you just scared the bejesus out of me because I'm long Amazon right now in a swing, and I thought you were saying Amazon just broke that 232 level for downside, but it's not. Okay, we're good. You said it. You took the trade yesterday by the highs, which was great, fantastic. But you scared me a little bit of a heart flutter at 8:30 in the morning. But hey, here's what it is. So Amazon, absolutely incredible. We'll talk about Amazon today. We have some SPY charts today in front of us too. Some SPY chart looks good too. We'll talk about what's going on here in SPY. I would say this not actually. I'm bullshitting, right? SPY does not my already profanity. 8:36 in the morning. We've already done the profanity, so we just ruined the engagement. But SPY has been joking around recently, right? It's hasn't really given much value. Okay, and I haven't really been trading it this week so far. Obviously, it's only Tuesday, but let's see what happens. It hasn't been that nice. It really hasn't been nice. These individual names have been a lot better, but SPY has been a bit of a lagger. Okay, a little bit of a lagger on the SPY chart. So we'll talk about this, what the market can present today. I hope everybody had a nice Monday and is ready to dive into today's session. We have some big things to discuss this morning, and look at the quality today, guys. The quality is impeccable, right? Impeccable quality. I'll make my face a little smaller so it's not blocking the charts a little bit. My camera quality is good. It's just it's so dark right now in New York where it looks not good, but the camera quality is good. It's just not picking up much light. All right, so let's dive into it, guys. We have some things to go over this morning. Let's talk about our econ data, our earnings reports. We'll dive back into our charts. So today's session on the earnings docket for today's session. What is on the earnings docket? Today is December 2nd. It is Tuesday. This morning we have Scotiabank in the pre-market session. We have MRVL in the after hours today. CrowdStrike in the after hours today. So somebody mentioned Crowd, CRWD. Obviously, just be careful. They report earnings today in the after hours session. Okay, it's CrowdStrike. Also, American Eagles, AEO. Not as I'll tell you this. AEO not as I would say trendy now for compared to Abercrombie and Fitch. Remember we said A&F, right? Was a bit trendy and saw some significant improvement. AEO, I don't think so, right? Let's see what happens when they report these earnings coming up. But obviously, AEO, CrowdStrike, MRVL reporting in the after hours today. Tomorrow, pre-market, Dollar Tree, DLTR, Macy's. You may not think of these names as important names, but they do help tell us what consumer spending is, right? They'll be dictating, sort of what the consumer spending was going into Black Friday, right? Black Friday and Cyber Monday, right? In their guidance. CRM and Snowflake on Wednesday as well. Those are the big ones for this week. And then we have some smaller names to finish out the week, okay? On the econ data side, I'll do a little bit of a refresh so they can't mess with me this morning. Okay, Tuesday, December 2nd. Today's session, we have Bauman at 10 o'clock. We have Bauman at 10 o'clock. Jerome Powell, 8 p.m., was speaking yesterday. God knows what he was talking about at 8 p.m. I don't know what he's doing at 8 p.m. I don't know what anyone's doing at 8 p.m. But Powell was speaking yesterday at 8 p.m. Who knows? Who cares? Okay, today, 10 o'clock, Bauman, right? Tomorrow, 8:30 a.m., we have import-export prices. We have industrial production, 9:15. We have ISM, 10 o'clock, PMI, 9:45. There's some big things happening in the Wednesday session. But today, it's Tuesday, and we're here for Tuesday session. So let's talk about the setups today. Let's talk about what's happening in the market, and let's talk about what to expect here on SPY. Rick the Ruler, I need some AMD action, brother. I appreciate you, even though we got left hanging yesterday. Oh, you're right. You know what, Rick, you missed the stream, man. We actually did go live yesterday, but we just didn't do a full stream. Yeah, we had some technical issues yesterday, but I'm glad that we are not having those same issues today. But yes, we'll go over AMD, absolutely. So SPY. So SPY recently has not been as sexy, okay? It has not been sexy. It has not really been giving us much juice recently, okay? We saw yesterday, really on Wednesday session, on Friday session, on Thursday session, or Thursday was closed, but Monday session rather. It was just very closed up price action, very lackluster price action. You can see for the past few days, we've been trading relatively sideways here on SPY, right? Relatively sideways. And you can't say completely sideways, but barring this crazy upside move at market open on Wednesday, it's been in this box, right? We've been in this box for basically 1, 2, and 3 days, right? 3 days of price action, we've been boxed up. So it's not particularly unusual that if you're trading SPY either yesterday or maybe Friday or even Wednesday, right, that you've had lackluster price action, right? You've had lackluster gains. You probably haven't gotten much trend because the market hasn't really been that trending. In fact, if you look at SPY, I would say this. I love a lot of these names today for longs, okay? I like Amazon long, I like Apple long and pullbacks. I like Nvidia longs, I like AMD longs. I like a lot of long side trades today. But the problem here on SPY is we haven't really seen the lower high, or rather the higher low form yet, right? You see a little bit, you can argue a little bit of it on Monday, right? That little low right there on Monday at 678. So you have a level there at 678 now, which obviously becomes important. But we haven't had that flash sell, because here's what happens, right? In any uptrend, you get a period of time where the market does this, right? Uptrend, bam, uptrend, bam, uptrend, bam, uptrend, bam. And you get those little bam moves, right? The bam moves are what a lot of retail traders will perceive as bearish. They perceive it as bearish. They sell, they sell, they sell, they sell, they sell. And that's where institutions get their liquidity to go long and get the upside move, right? So that's how the market works. The market moves in ebbs and flows. We know that already. We've seen this. We've talked about the idea hundreds of times. But the market hasn't really gotten the aggressive flush down lower. It's been too easy for bulls recently, right? And anytime you see it being too easy for bulls, almost like a fantasy fairy tale, you have to expect that there's going to be a day where the market does give us that flash sell. Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling you to short SPY. I'm not saying that, right? I'm very, very clear here. I'm not saying short SPY, but I am saying if the market does flash sell, I am saying something very important here. I'm saying that if the market does flash sell into a demand zone, don't perceive that necessarily as a bearish move, because the market is still searching for liquidity. It's still searching for buyers, right? And that's what I think is going to happen. I think we probably will sell either probably maybe today or even Wednesday, right? And if we do, it's going to be something like this. We're going to sell aggressively where everyone thinks it's bearish, and it's going to look really bearish in the 5 minute, but we're going to sell into demand and probably buy it up there at demand. And that would be the long spot today's session. So if you're going to short today here in SPY, you're shorting under 678, right? You're shorting under 670. I would even argue, if you go to the 5 minute chart here, you want to short this market, you could short under 679.50, right? See that low, that little low right there, that little after hours low, the low from Wednesday. And if you recall, we shorted that level here on Wednesday. Go to the pre-market, or if you guys are live trading with us on Honey Drip, right? You know we showed this exact high right there for a downside move. And we have to lose that level for us to move into here. So if you are shorting, I would look for a downside move under these lows for a move back down lower. That's your short. That's your short, okay? And if you're looking for longs, well, you do this, right? This is the thing. This is the top watch for longs. If you're watching for longs on the SPY, it's this A pullback to your demand zone, and you go long at your critical point of demand, which again would be your higher low and the formation for the best upside trade. So again, I'm basically saying this: watch the 679.5 for downside, but only as far back as this box right here. That's my box looking for longs into, and it's not a simple one line. I'm not going to say, guys, we're going to pull back to 675, and it's going to be a to the penny bounce there. I'm talking about a zone between 675 and 673.50. This is my buy zone. If we pull back there, I'm looking for longs. If we fail it, then we're no longer bullish anymore, right? That's the thing, is in any uptrend as well, right? In any uptrend or any trend in general, there's going to be a moment where you're wrong. Right now, we're not wrong. We're uptrending still, right? So we're still right about this. But eventually, I will be wrong here, and it's not going to kill me, right? If a chart touches trend 10 times and the 11th time it breaks trend, well, you were right the previous 9 times or 10 times, right? So again, right now we're bullish as long as we're above 673.30, which is the daily 21 SMA. If we break above these highs here, 683.50, then we're just going to rip and rally higher back into 686, right? So above these highs over there, back into 686. But as of right now, we're boxed up, and this is the box in front of us. On the ES chart, ES, same idea here in the ES chart, right? You guys know what I'm going to say here, right? The market is obviously holding strong. We have demand down below us. The demand down below us is right over here. We have to expect a moment where the market just has no buyers, right? It's going to happen at some point. It could be today, it could be Wednesday, it could be Thursday, right? But there's going to be a day where the market just flushes down lower and we find support at demand and we slowly get bought off that demand zone and then rip up higher again, right? So this is what I'm expecting in the market, and I'm looking for longs back down over here if we do get that pullback long. Or if you want to go short, then absolutely go short, right? Short under 68 to 68. Where's the short here on ES though? Because let's be aware of this, right? So I'm saying short, but where the hell is your short? Well, it's got to be back underneath the level from SPY, right? And where's that SPY level? Well, it's, remember that Wednesday high? Well, it's 68.24, right? So that's your exact level. See the high over here, the 68.24, and you can see, wow, look how important this level has become. 68.24 in the ES chart. And so you now know this. If you're looking for shorts in the market, it's only really valid under 68.24. Under 68.24 is your short side trade and a downside move back into lows. But again, this is your buy zone. Again, your buy zone, very important. This is your buy zone. As long as we're above it, we're bullish. If we lose this level, then we're back down bearish. I don't want to see this happen. Here's what will happen. Okay. At some point, we'll probably get the sell off into a demand zone, right? And then we probably bounce off the level for a little bit. Okay, we probably bounce off the level. And I argue that if we hold this level, we go higher. But eventually, if the market does break down under 67.73, which is our daily 21 SMA here, and the SPY 673, right? We know the two very important levels. That's your bear side flip. I'm not perpetually bullish. I'm not perpetually bearish. I'm just basing it off of levels. Right now, I'm bullish because we're above my green band. Okay, you still can short in a bull market, but you can only short back as far in your demand, right? You can't short back into a demand zone. You can only short between here and there, right? Because as soon as you pull into this this loading zone, right, the loading dock here, well, that's where buyers come back in. So just be aware of that going into today's session. Big loading zone down below at 67.90 to 67.72, right? A big zone here on the ES chart. All right, so let's move on. The QQQ on the Q's chart. Strong, right? And you're going to notice something here about the SPY and ES today, right? SPY ES versus QQQ. The reason why you're seeing that the ES is weaker than the ES is weaker than the Qs is because what? Is because of our tech names, obviously, right? But more specifically because of our Nvidia, because of our AMD, because of our Apple, right? Those are the names that are really maintaining the market, okay? And that's why the market's moving higher. Now, we said this yesterday. We said yesterday on Monday, we said, hey, guys, SPY has to pull back to demand. SPY 675 is your demand zone. But QQQ was in demand. QQQ was in your demand zone. It was. You guys saw that, right? And look at how we reacted to our demand zone. Yesterday, we just did what? This is what I'm saying. This is why I love trading. Look how we did this. We broke out. We pulled back. We developed a long spot here at 614, and we ripped and rallied off the level. This was a really nice trade yesterday here in the Qs. 614 was your demand zone, and that was your long right there at 10:30 in the morning. Okay. Now this morning, where are we? Well, in Qs, we're right back in supply again. So we're back in supply here. Everyone's happy. Everyone's all spiced up and going crazy this morning. Now, this is where you need to just sort of sit back for a second, right? Sit back on this Tuesday morning and watch and see what happens, right? Here's what you don't want to happen. You don't want to see us wham the longs, right? Because if you do, we're going to pull back to the SPY level of demand, right? I want you to focus on SPY today. SPY today, I think, is going to be really important. So again, QQQ in supply, right? We're in supply this morning here in Qs. What's going on here? We're in supply here in the Qs. And your supply is where? Where's your supply here in the Qs? Well, your supply is really 620, right? 620 is your supply zone. And the reason why this is your supply is because you can see the start of that big downside move here from Thursday, the 13th of November, right? The big downside move here happened right here at 620. So if we get above 620, yeah, what's the upside, right? Back into where? Back into 625. So my main thing today in Qs is, can QQQ get back above 620? If it can't, right, then you know that this is an area you don't really want to be overly bullish into, right? So my zone is here. This is my zone here. Either we're going to do this, right, big upside, back above 620, or we're going to fail back lower here at 620 and see downside back at 614 again. And the question mark now is, do we hold 614 a second time, right? So again, our demand is 614. Our supply is 620, okay? That's what it is here in the Qs. Back to SPY for a second, just to recap here. SPY, holding strong, but in a box. 678 is your support. 689.50 is your second support, right? That's your big support zone. And 675 is your demand zone to look for longs if we get the pullback there. If we clear above the highs, we rip and rally today, right? 683.80 is your rip and actually it's really not that level. It's really 684 flat, right? 684 flat is your level today. Now, if we break above, we're going to see 686. So that's what I'm seeing this morning on the SPY, ES, and QQQ chart, okay? Okay. Excuse me. Let's dive into our charts. Okay? By the way, we have 1,040 people here this morning. I have a question for you guys, by the way. Would you rather us do a mega giveaway, a bigger giveaway, a combined giveaway in December, or would you rather a smaller giveaway in November and a giveaway in December? Do you want a combined giveaway for December for Christmas, or do you want a two different giveaways for November and December? What do you guys think? Tell me in the chat while I'm looking for the next ticker. I'll do this. Mega giveaway. All right. Well, you know what? I'll be transparent with you guys. No matter what you said, I would have done the mega giveaway anyway. I wanted you guys to think it's your idea. So a little bit of manipulation there. So it didn't matter what you said, but I'm gonna do the Megalodon giveaway anyway. I can't lie to you guys. I don't know. I just wanted to make it. I wanted you guys to think it was your idea, but hell no, not your idea. Yeah, we're doing the Megalodon giveaway. So we'll do a big giveaway in December. So we're gonna go, and I will go to my YouTube. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll go to my YouTube analytics, and I will show you exactly how much I made for YouTube in the last November and December, and whatever that number is, I'll give it away. Okay. Donate to a children's hospital. I did donate to. I donated to a few places, but not a children's hospital. Maybe I'll do that next year. But for this year, we're going to be doing a giveaway. We'll be doing a pretty big giveaway for December. Okay. All right. Let's move into our charts. Let's talk about our tickers today. Let's talk about Amazon. So not only, okay, wait, guys, mute me for a minute because I'm gonna toot my horn for a second. So just let me just toot my own horn for a bit. Mute me if you hate it because for the next, give me 30 seconds. Okay, just mute me for 30 seconds. Okay. So yeah, we long this over here at 224 on Monday, right? And we've been long this since Monday, and now we're up almost 6% here. And I'm a happy camper. We're up $12 per share. So I'll be TPing this morning here on Amazon, taking my first trim on the Amazon shares. But the question really becomes, look at this chart now. We longed it yesterday above 233.50, which was a nice long side trade yesterday. Got some upside into yesterday's session. But the problem right now is we're back into the daily 21 SMA, right? So this is the issue. We're sitting right back at the daily 21. I like this chart still. I think we go back to all-time highs. But I know that this is an area. This is my first problem area here on Amazon, okay? My first problem area is right here. So I expect that we're going to see some reaction here. I expect that we're probably going to have to form a low somewhere, right? And we've already done a little bit of a low yesterday at the 230s, but I expect that the market will sell here off this daily 21 SMA. Now, granted, I'm not shorting this. I'm still holding longs here, but I will be taking profit on some of these shares today to get some profit in and move my stops up. So if we're longing the 224s, my stop is now going to be 230 for the upside move. So my new stop is here 230. I'm going to hold it now. But the daily 21 is my main TP, and my ultimate goal here is back into these highs over here at 258. So if you guys are long on Amazon with me, we are looking for we're looking for this to go back into this spot over here. But again, this is the first problem area. So let's be smart about this. We'll TP1 here. We'll move stops up. That's Amazon's chart. Now today's session on the intraday. Here's the thing, on the intraday, I have no intention of trading Amazon today, right? On the intraday, I have no intention of trading this chart. Yesterday, we did well on it. Today, I have no interest here. The only level I have right now is 233.50, 233.50, and 233.50. So if you are looking for longs today, it's got to be there. But again, this is not my top watch today, okay? Because we're trading way too close to that daily 21 SMA, where this is just, to be honest with you, it's not as high conviction. So this is your level, right? But then obviously you have a daily 21 sitting right above us, so we have to be cognizant of that. So again, your demand's here, but we're back in a daily, we're back in a mega supply here, right? So let's be cautious of that and understand that this could possibly see a sell today, okay? But again, longs, we're still good. Longs, even if we do this today, right? Even if you do this today, it's still bullish for us, right? So 230 has to hold for us to maintain our long side trades, okay? Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's go over the Appler, okay? Apple. Apple, insane day yesterday. And if you guys recall, we spoke about this in great detail, right? We spoke about this bull flag trade. We spoke about this long side move. We spoke about the idea that this chart is, by the way, guys, we have over 1,000 viewers here. And of the 1,000 viewers, we have 422 likes. Guys, get the like count up. Subscribe to the channel as well. I'm almost at 16,000 subs. If you're not subscribed to me, it is embarrassing. Okay, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are here watching, you're getting free game every day. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Okay. All right. On this Apple chart, we bull flagged above the highs here. This was your bullish scenario yesterday, and we spoke about this in the pre-market. Now, what are we doing today? Well, today's session, we need the pullback, right? We need to see the pullback to demand. And I had two pullback long spots today in Apple. The first pullback and the most obvious pullback is 280, right? We know that's the most obvious pullback, right? So 280 is your previous set of highs here from Tuesday, the 25th. If we can pull back there, that should be your watch today for a long side trade. Now, it's a very obvious level, and so that's why I would give it all the way back down to 279, which is my breakout level from yesterday, as my secondary demand zone. So my whole idea today in Apple is to watch to see if I see any signs of price reversion between this zone over here, right? So my goal is to look for price reversion between 280 and 279. So if I see this pull back there, I'm looking for longs at 280 all the way down to 279, right? And so again, this is just a nice chart, but we have a big extension move higher. We must form lower to develop a swing low and get the upside move, right? So I'm looking for this. My entry is going to be back in my demand here, back at the 679s. If we pull back, I'm looking for longs there at 679, okay? Moving on. This is the Apple chart. This is a top watch for today. Nvidia, also top watch for today. Nvidia, if you guys recall, we spoke about that inverse head and shoulders yesterday. Where's the inverse head and shoulders? The inverse head and shoulders is right staring at you in your face with a neon colored shirt. You can see here, head and shoulders. Okay. Now, what must we break for this head and shoulders to work? Well, it's already working off 173. It was already working. And we discussed that idea being a long spot yesterday. If you just long the 173s, it was a nice spot. But again, we also talked about the fact that Nvidia was not necessarily bullish yesterday. Yes, it had head and shoulders. Yes, it was maintaining demand, but it wasn't really strong. Okay. And Nvidia hasn't been that strong, except for yesterday, right? And yesterday was the first day that the weakest name in the market has turned strong. That's very important. The weakest name in the market turning strong. And so if we can clear above 183, that's the neckline break, and we can expect upside move here. So again, second top watch today on this market is Nvidia 183 break. If we can break 183, I'm looking for longs back into highs. Why? It's the neckline break. It's also an outperformer yesterday. While the overall market yesterday was quite ranged, look at how much this chart moved. I don't think we realize. I think most of us didn't really realize Nvidia moved 5% from yesterday's lows. This is a absolutely beautiful name, turning strong. The weakest name in the market, turning strong. Very important. Let's watch and see what Nvidia does here at 183. If we can break 183, we're looking for upside back in the highs. Moving on. AMD. So AMD 220. That's it, right? If you're an AMD trader, your entire everything is based on 220 today. That's my level, right? So 220 is my level today. It's the PDH, right? PDH and the lows of Wednesday, the 19th of November. Okay, so if you're looking for longs today on AMD, it's got to be 220. Okay, for above it bullish, for below it bearish. Now I'm not saying just go balls to the walls and go crazy here at 220, right? Oh my God, full port 220, right? But I'm saying this: if we're above it, we should be bullish. If we're below it, we should be bearish. So that's what I'm seeing today here on this AMD chart. Above bull, below bear. 220 is your bull bear pivot. And if you were along this market, where are we going into? Probably going back into this area right here, 234.50. You can see a very strong pocket here on AMD. You have the lows over here, you have the highs over here, you have the highs over here, and you have the daily 21 SMA sitting right there. So if you are targeting upside here in AMD, don't be a muppet and hold into there, right? Because that's where, again, I would expect a lot of profit taking to occur, right? A lot of those shorts to get involved again, and a lot of profit taking to occur. Okay, AMD 235, right? Sorry, 234 is your big level on this chart. I know we have upside in stock here for above 220, but 235, 234 is a very big level in front of us. Okay, just be cautious of that going into this chart. I hope that is a problem though. I hope that if you were long AMD, I hope that you do see that high, because that would be an incredible trade. Okay, SMH. SMH holding demand, right? And we spoke about this yesterday. The SMH was maintaining itself as demand, and we did, right? We fell below it, and we sort of opened right into it on that Monday session, the 1st of December, and we saw some outperformance yesterday in the SMH. So semi is maintaining itself really well, and you know that your bull bear pivot on the SMH is a blue line, right? Your bull bear pivot is a blue line on your chart. It's 347. 347 is your major level this morning. If you're above bull, below bear, that was the start of your big downside move from November 20th, and now we're seeing upside. Where does this go to at this point? It probably goes back into this area here, right? But just like the AMD chart, yes, it probably goes back in here, right? You can see this is where it likely goes back into. This is that next high volume area. If you run a fixed range volume profile, I don't want to look like an idiot here, but let's do it quickly. Before I say it, let's run the fixed range volume profile here, right? From there to there, and you're going to see, yeah, it is, right? Very high volume node here at 359. So if the market does hold 348, which it has, you have upside potential back in 359. But hey, that's not a big move here anymore, right? Look at this. I'm talking about this much of upside potential right now. We're not talking about a 500% banger on the SMH today. We're not talking about a big upside potential here in SMH, but this is there is upside, right? So as long as we're holding this level here, we're going higher into there. The question mark is, what do we do here at 360, 359 SMH? Okay. What else we have? The Avgo chart doing nothing, not really doing anything of substance for me this morning, right? Nothing really of substance. What about TSM? TSM. Nothing as well. TSM actually, not nothing, right? Not just nothing here. You can see that there is a very important level it's testing right now. See my yellow level there? There's this 293 level, right? 293 and change. You can see important level here, important pivot. Now, not a chart I typically trade here, but 293 is a very clear inflection point, right? So if you want to see upside here on TSM, you need to see that 293 level clear out today's session, okay? INTC Intel. Intel, I am a long on Intel. And Intel is moving higher. Intel is absolutely ripping. Intel ripped on that Friday session. Big volume on Friday session as well. So Intel probably getting news here at Intel. If you guys remember, we longed Intel a while ago. Remember we were talking about Intel back in the lower 20s, and people were saying don't do. Remember, look at this. We even wrote it out over here. You see stop loss, right? Look where we are now, right? So I tend to begin to flip these charts away when it's moved so far for us, because then it just looks like I'm bragging the whole time. But Intel is a great chart now. I retick higher, to be honest with you. I'm just profit taking. So, I'm not really doing anything. I'm not like re-entering this. But if you are re-entering Intel, your Intel re-entry level has to be 38. So if you pull back to 38 today, that's your long spot. Okay. 38 long spot. SoFi. And SoFi eventually is going to look like Intel too. So I know it's moved quite a bit from our entry too, right? Remember we longed this SoFi chart down over here, right? We longed it right over here at 23 per share. Sorry, 24 per share. And we're up almost 24% here in SoFi. SoFi, as long as we're above 28.50, is bullish. So if you see us sell off into that level today, and you want to look for another entry, that is your long spot today, right? We have to hold this level now, right there. Okay, 28.50 here on the Intel chart, INTC. Let's move on, guys. Let's go over a Tesla. So Tesla's chart, 433, very big level here, guys, on Tesla. If you guys intend to trade Tesla today, 433 has to be your intention, right? You can see this is your spot, okay? 433 above bull, below bear. Now, technically, we spoke about this being bullish on larger time frames because it's above 4 and 5, which is true. But in the intraday, if you want this to continue, we need to see us above 433, right? Sorry, so 430, yeah, 433, right? Let's confirm this. 433, right? So yeah, 433 is your exact level. So if we can get back above 433, there's some upside potential here. But the question is, how far does it go? And I'll just be transparent with you. I have no clue, right? Look at this chart here. We're going into the you know in the movie Dune, you know Dune the movie. You know when they fly into that sandstorm, right? When the ship flies into the sandstorms and stuff. This is the Dune sandstorm, right? We're entering an area where there's just so many. What the hell is going on here, right? So we're flying into the sandstorm right now, and let's make this more thematic. Let's change the color here to like a nice yellow, right? We're flying into the sandstorm, and we're flying blind, right? So above 433, you're flying blind. You're just using EMAs at that point to take profit. So again, big level here, 433, and upside potential, but you're flying blind, okay? Because there's so many reactions here. It's hard to create levels here. Just because you'd have a chart. If you create levels here, you'd have a chart that looks like this, right? That's what it would look like. So again, you're flying into the sandstorm. Guys, that is it for me today. That's a perfect ending for today's session. It is 9:06. It is a beautiful morning. Go enjoy your mornings and have a beautiful trading session today. Thank you all for joining in. I appreciate you all being here. And yeah, I'll see you guys a little later. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you haven't already. Thanks again. Bye, guys.